Good morning. This is Friday, December 16th, 2022. And so today's the last day of the week, and it's actually what they call triple witching day, which means options expire on futures market and stock market. And so this is a pretty big day. Expecting the markets to move in a direction, could be up or down, but I'm sure it's going to go down quite a bit. It's 9:40 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so there's still a lot of time for this market to make a move. So I had gone ahead and bought some more put options on the ES, on the SPYs actually, which trails the ES, and I'm already up quite a bit just from buying somewhere in here and just to here. Also sold some of my stock options because they were making pretty good money, but nothing compares with the ES. Just give you an example. If you buy 10 options on an ES and it moves, and the option price moves 10 points, you can make $10,000 on that. If the option price moves 10 points on a stock option, you might make $1,000. There's a difference between the ES and stocks. There's so much volatility with this market, with the index, the ETFs on this, and it's incredible how much money you can make. Now you can lose a lot of money too. That's why you need to have some experience, and you need to know also if you are losing money to turn around and get out. So at the end of the day, after this is done, I might sell all of my options, and then I might, for the first time, post how much I made, and maybe I'll do that. I'm not sure if I want to do that because it's not really about how much money I'm making. It's more of how much money you can make doing this. But I had a friend that suggested I do that just to show people how much. But so I'm not sure. I'm kind of on the fence on that, whether I should do that or not. Just letting you know that I can't think of any other business. I've been involved in several businesses in my life. I don't know, maybe 8 businesses, and some of them really successful, making some pretty good money, but nothing compares with this. You can make $1,000, $10,000, $50,000, even $100,000 in one day. Once you get better, of course, you can do that. But at the beginning, you can make $500 or $1,000 a day doing this, which is pretty good for an average person. They wouldn't mind making that on the side. And then as you get better, of course, you can make more. And the only effort you have to put into it to make more money is just to add more positions. Like if I'm going to buy 10 contracts, if I want to make more money, I just buy 50 contracts. So I just hit the plus sign, and that's it, and add the 50 contracts, and that's all you have to do to make more money. Of course, that's not all. Of course, you need experience, and sometimes when you buy 50 contracts or 60, 70, 80 contracts, and a market goes the opposite way, which it always does, but just for a short period of time because you're expecting it to go in your direction, you can be down $10,000, $15,000 in just a matter of minutes, and you have to have a stomach for that. Where I'm at now, I see $10,000, $20,000 down in a couple minutes. I'm not concerned about that, only because I know the market's going to go in my direction, and if it doesn't, then I get out. But it's pretty rare that I lose. I do lose money in this. I mean, that's part of the game, but you know, the losses are very small. They're tiny compared to the gains. And so yeah, I do feel it. If I'm down, you know, there goes my alerts. So the market's going down again. I do feel it, you know, if the markets are going against my position, even for a little while. Sure, I feel it. I'm supposed to feel it. But also have a lot of confidence in what I've been doing. I've been doing this for 24 years now. So, okay, so anyway, you know, NASDAQ's going down. I would think the NASDAQ's going to probably wind up eventually somewhere at the bottom, which I would call the bottom somewhere around here. Get a little trend line in there. Now it only has 1 week actually to do this, because after that things are going to really slow down Christmas. So I'm not sure if it's going to even hit here this year. And if it does, let's say next week it comes down and hits, then we're going to get a nice bounce coming back up before it finally comes down next year to here. I doubt very much this year it's going to break this line and start going down. It can, but it just doesn't feel like that at this moment. You know, it might seem different to me on Monday, but right now, and here's the Russell, same thing with the Russell trend line. So we got a nice bottom right here. And when I say bottom, I'm talking about this is a temporary bottom, because of course I'm expecting these markets to go way down. Maybe by the time it's done, it goes down 90%. And as it is now, it's only about maybe 25%. So it's got a long ways to go before it actually hits what I call the bottom, the real bottom. These are temporary bottoms. And what I mean by that, they come and it hits here, and then it bounces, and then it comes and hits. And it might bounce a couple times and then finally breaks. And then when it does, it goes down big, just like it did. Let's see, give you an example. Maybe the Dow Jones right here. So let's say that this is the bottom right here. Obviously, that was a bottom. And the market came down, hit, came up, it came down, hit, came up, came down, hit. Finally did a spike right here, and now it took it down, and it actually went right through it. And so I always wait for the second bar, and when the second bar stays down, then that's when I get in. I wasn't trading this, I was trading the S&P, but basically that's what I do. That's how I trade. So let's do the ES. Here's the ES right here. So this thing spiked and it came down here, and it didn't actually go up beyond this high, and it started to come down. That's when I got in. I bought a bunch of put options here, and it came down. This morning I bought some more because it's actually below this line. And like I mentioned before, and I'll talk about this later, but these markets, they come up, they hit, they start building this wall or this floor, and they come up and they hit, they come up and they hit, and it's this big floor. And finally, when it does break loose, especially with a spike, it comes roaring down. And that's what the ES did. It's coming down. So where's bottom? I would say short-term bottom before it really goes down big time is right here. So we're pretty far away from here as far as today. It's not going to hit that. I mean, if it did, it would be a move that I've never seen before to that extent. And it's a crazy move, but it could happen. But, you know, chances are it might just come down in here. And then next week it might continue and go down here. That's a possibility. But eventually this is going to retrace. It's going to come down, and I might even get out today if it comes down to here, because we got a retracement coming up pretty soon, which could be short-lived, and then back down. And if we do have a retracement and comes and hits this bottom, which is considered a top now, I would get in with again and then ride this thing down. The only thing is it's getting close to the end of the year, and we only have 1 week left of real good trading. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet until the time comes. But as it is now, if this continues down, maybe down into here, I'm definitely going to sell today. Get rid of all my positions with a very good profit on this. You know, just a couple days. Really good profit on this. Okay, so we'll take a look at some of the stocks. So here's Amazon. And Amazon, here's a nice bottom right here. Let me get rid of this line. This is a nice bottom. See, the market came down, it hit several times. This is a daily chart. Came up, came back down, and hit several more times, and finally it's starting to break. And once it breaks this bottom, and then creates another spike, another bar up, and comes down, it'd be a great trade, because that means this is going to come flying down. It's going to come down really big. Because, you know, it's taken, from November, you know, a couple months for it to sit here. And then finally it breaks. So that might not happen till next week. And if it doesn't, definitely next year, January. Probably going to look at some really big moves between January and March. These markets are really going to take a dive going down. And for anybody who's long term, you better get out right now. I mean, you should have gotten out way over here, but at least you have chances here. And I would get out before you lose everything. And if you think these markets are going to come back and you're going to get your money back, like I mentioned before, I'll just say it again. Most people buy at 70% of the run. So if the market started here, they're going to buy usually around here, because people usually don't buy until they see everybody else buying. And people don't start buying until they start hitting about 70% of the market's run. And then the market comes up, it's going to go all the way down. Now you got to wait for it to come all the way back up here again. That's going to be a long time. I mean, that could be 10, 15 years until it hits that. You know, and maybe not even that long, but still now you're fighting against inflation and taxes. So I just saw this video the other day on, forgot this economist. Anyway, he did analysis of the housing market from 1890 to 1990, and he saw that during that whole time that people didn't make any money, because even though it seems like they did and the house prices went up, there was inflation and taxes. And once you minus all of that off, they didn't make anything. They're even, at break even. And that's how these stock markets work, even though you see that you're going to wait, and when it comes back, and you might have to wait 15, 20 years for it to come back, and then you got to contend with taxes and inflation, you're right back to where you started from. What a waste of time, where you can actually be making some big bucks going down. Okay. So Tesla continues to go down. And I talked to somebody yesterday and they wanted to know what trading firm I trade with, and they wanted to know if they have analysis and all kinds of stuff that most people look at. They want to make sure that the company's profiting, they're making good money, and I was telling her that it doesn't make any difference with that. And here's a good example. Tesla is going down, and they're going down quite a bit. So of course they're the 7th largest company on the planet. And then you have companies like Netflix. Where's Netflix? And Netflix is going up. What's the deal with that? Netflix is nowhere even near the profit margin as Tesla. It's going up because what's actually coming down now. And eventually Netflix is going to go down. But the point is that it doesn't matter if the company's making money or not. What matters is demand. And if people are trading these stocks up and other people are jumping on, it's going to keep going. And if they're trading it down and people are selling, that's going to keep going. It doesn't matter how big the company is or how small. So that's why you don't see any indicators I have here. I don't do any analysis, nothing. I just look at charts. Because this tells me everything. This tells me what people are doing. So I'm going to keep mentioning this, and I can't stress this enough. This is a buy and sell game. If you're going to buy down here and it's going to come up here, you need to sell. You can have $1 million that you made on this all on paper. And if you're down here now and you lost, 90% of it, then you never made anything. You lost all this time right here because you didn't play the buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. You buy and you sell. That's what you're supposed to do. You have to sell. That's the other half of this game. So I'm going to keep repeating myself over and over because most people are just not going to do it. They're not going to listen. And 10, 15 years from now, we're going to have another recession. And again, we're going to have the same thing. People are going to keep doing the same thing. They've been doing this for 400 years. For 400 years, they've been not selling, been buying and not selling. And then by the time they do sell, it's already too late. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to tell you when to sell. So, you should sell now because, like I said, with stocks like Amazon. Amazon's probably going to wind up somewhere down here. And so from here to here, you can be losing a couple $100,000 or more. And if you trade this right, like I do, and you trade going down, you could quadruple your money. You can make a lot of money going down because the markets go down faster than they go up. Look how long it took to get up here, and look at the short time it takes to get here. And I'm guessing the first quarter of 2023, this is probably where it's going to wind up, is down in here. And that's how fast these markets can move, going down. Okay, so we're back to, here's the NASDAQ. It's going down. Show 1 hour chart. That's where it's at, right there. And I just got a couple alerts. I'm not sure if that was a Dow. It looks like the Dow hit my alert. So Dow's down 500 points. It can still go down another 500 by the day's end. And here's the ES. It's only down 69. You know, this market can go down a lot further. So we'll see what happens today, but it's still the beginning. You know, it's only, what, 10 o'clock. So what do we got? 3 hours of trading. And by that time, the market could wind up down here. Because like I said, you know, it's not, still 68 points is not a lot. If it starts getting over 100, then we start to get into that area of, you know, overbought, or as far as this would be oversold. And then we're going to start looking at a retracement probably on Monday. Maybe it might continue down, but eventually we'll have a retracement, and then that's when I'll buy again. Okay, that's it. So we'll talk again on Monday, and I hope you guys have a good weekend.